we are back with part two, going over more memories in South Pass.
Yes.
All right, so Algie is going to make this a little bit easier for me because I'm not very good at um, doing my stories, especially out of context, and it's just like storytelling where it's like I can't exactly get straight to the point of where I want to go. But anyways, he's gonna kind of help us with that. So go ahead, Algie, if you have any questions for me regarding South Pass and just anything that I might be able to recall.
Okay. My first question to you is, what is your favorite memory in South Pass?
Okay, so in terms of my favorite memory, well, I think a big one I would have to say is the fact that everything was so close to each other. You had your coffee shops there, grocery stores, high school. All the schools were actually pretty close together, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in the previous video. But it was nice that everything was easy to just get around to. You know what I mean? And that's what I miss the most. Besides, meeting you and meeting a couple cool people as well, and just loving the fact that for a small town, like it just had everything. So that's what I want to say about
Yes, that is true. That is
Yeah.
true. Everything was close.
that. It definitely was. It definitely was. And I miss just being able to kind of just get down from my apartment and just walk even to like the nearest park. And then if I wanted to get a drink at a grocery store where I used to work at, shout out to Bristol Farms. I used to be cashier there, on a side note. And yeah, I definitely really miss that part in South Pass.
Well, my other questions, I think it's a little similar.
Mhm.
What is your favorite memory, like in South Pass? Now, it doesn't have to be like, the high school, middle school. It could just be anything.
Favorite memory ever?
Yeah.
I think I'd want to say that when I took the train to Old Town with my sister, and then we kind of just went shopping, and then we got some yogurt, and just looked around different stores, Urban Outfitters, and I used to be so into that stuff, and it was nice to just kind of go around in Old Town and like check out the stores and go shopping a little bit and just spending time with my sister. So I'd say that one. Besides, hanging out with you and all that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, even though we did went to middle school and high school together, let's talk about real quick the group that we were in.
Oh my gosh. See, it's been so long.
Let's just talk about a little bit. How did you meet the other people in the group? Because remember, it was like a good, like what, 12 of us or more?
I don't know about 12. I mean, I think it expanded once, other group members started introducing, their friends or people they have met in class or something. And so it kind of expanded to like 10 to 12. But then I think originally it was like 6, 7 of us, I'd say. Oh, he's actually trying to
that, yeah.
Yeah. But okay, so in terms of how I met them, so I think a lot of the times I just kind of met them in a previous school. So let's say elementary school, I met maybe 2 or 3 of them. And then they just, I don't know, they just hung out a lot. So they were part of that group. And so I already knew them from there. And then I think maybe 2 of them I just met through them. See, that's how it usually goes. Like I meet others because of them. You know what I mean? So like that's how that went. And then the other time I met Kendall, actually. I'm gonna just shout out to Kendall because it's been super long. But this is the only thing I like truly remember how we met exactly. We met in science class, I remember.
Oh, okay.
We met in science class. And then I thought she was really cool. And then she was pretty approachable. And then she seemed like a really cool person. So I felt like, oh, I mean, it would be kind of nice to hang out. And then she knew, like, I think 2 other people. And that's when I met those people. And then we kind of ended up being in the same group, more like in the same spot. But we ended up kind of becoming a group because of that. But I'd say that's all I really remember. Like I never had a group where I was the one that formed it. Because I
Oh,
wasn't
I know what you're
one to
saying.
really, be open. I wasn't a very extroverted person. I'm still kind of introverted. I just want to put it out there. I'm a very introverted person, and then I don't easily like open up to people unless I know them. So yes, in terms of how I met those people, it was either because we were classmates or they just introduced me to the people they know, and we ended up just meeting. So that's really it on that part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in terms of like what we did as a group, okay. So I was only really involved with the group during lunch. Not gonna lie.
Really?
I never hung out much with the group members like outside of school. So I would normally just go straight home. Like I had a curfew and everything. So the last thing I
Yeah.
want is to kind of like just go off somewhere and like my parents don't even know the people exactly. So it's like I don't know. I just went straight home and besides like I was easily one to just walk home right after school because I'm like I'm so done with school. I just want to go home. So
Yeah.
that was me. And so like I never really hung out with them super. I don't know. I just didn't hang out with them that much. But I mean, we did kind of like talk outside of school in terms of like texting and like occasionally if we see each other in high life or like, other places like that. It was easy to bump into them because first of all, South Pass is a really small town. So yes,
Hey, you
you
know,
do end up bumping into a couple of them. So
hey, you know what? Speaking of that, shout out to High Life. That was the
yes,
place to
yes.
go eat and get
Hmm.
milkshakes and French
They
fries and
had
all
really
that good
good
stuff.
food. They had really good food, and I honestly miss it. So there goes
And
that
for
again.
those people, right? And for those people who don't know South Pasadena, it is literally a really small town, and it's really next to Alhambra, Pasadena, El Sereno, San Marino,
Hmm.
and then there's Temple City and Arcadia. So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
right in the middle. Okay,
Hmm.
so and another thing is in South Pass, if you got a secret, it's gonna be spread all over the town.
Like
Like
wildfire.
that's literally how it is in South Pass. Like if somebody knows about something, it spreads all over town.
Yeah. Or you just hear it from other people. Like that's just what happens. I mean, no shade to anyone, but the thing is people talk and when they see
Yes.
you, especially outside of campus, that's where things can go down sometimes.
And also our parents know everybody too. Our parents are
I'd say
actually
they know a
some
good
of our
amount, but I didn't introduce a lot of my, friends at the time to my parents. Like we weren't like that's the thing, because like I didn't really hang out with them much after school. You know what I mean? And I
right,
didn't go
right.
to all the dances. I didn't go to all the dances and I didn't go to any of the parties that happened or even just kickbacks or something like that. So I kind of yeah, I kind of just kind of kept to myself. Yeah.
I'm just saying, I get why. I mean, like I
Yeah.
was kind of the same way.
Mhm.
For me after school, I was just going straight to karate class. So I didn't really hang out with
Dang.
anybody outside school
At
either.
least you had extracurriculars. Like I feel like what I did when I got home was literally find something to eat and just take a nap or just I don't know, just relax.
Nothing wrong with that.
Mhm. That was me. And then I did some homework. Maybe I went on Facebook, posted a status. Okay, speaking of Facebook, it was so funny because like every time you're on Facebook and there's a notification saying there's a memory to look back today.
Yeah.
Yes. And then I realized, dang, I used to be so active on Facebook and now I'm not really like that. I just kind of scroll through the news feed and just look at all the different videos and people posting their pictures and statuses and I'm just like I'm just kind of there. I'm not really involved in everything, but I'm just there, you know what I mean? Like, I can see what's up with some people.
Okay.
But I used to be more active on Facebook. And yeah, oh, also I want to mention that we used to have a whole group page. I was in the group page. Were you in it?
Do you remember who like actually kind of started
I
it?
think it was, I don't know if it was Kendall or someone else.
Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
was. I think I
Okay.
was.
Okay. Yeah, so we had a whole group page dedicated to our lunch group, and we posted so many things, or like, I think I didn't post the most, but I mostly commented, to be honest. And I just cringe every time I look back at that stuff. But anyways, they used to be super like active on that group page, and then I would be like, oh gosh, what did I get myself into? Because I don't really relate to a lot of the things they're talking about, or I
Right.
was trying to fit in like the entire time. I was just trying to fit in, but it was so hilarious. Is that? Oh, it was so funny because we were just talking about Facebook and that notification just popped up. I think it had to do with the promotion thing. But anyways, so yeah, we had a whole group page dedicated to our lunch group, and we literally posted anything. Like, you would be a little shocked sometimes. But anyways, that was the past.
I think really what it was like in our group. I think we're all like trying to like kind of fit in.
I know, right? I think that's what
For
it
me,
was.
I was like you. See, for me, I was like you. I didn't go to none of the parties and stuff either.
Yeah, I
didn't.
wasn't that fun, guys.
And I couldn't relate to what they were talking about either. I think that's why we clicked so much because I didn't relate to all the stuff that everyone else was talking about. And FYI, people in the group were actually talking about anime.
Yes, exactly. So those posts you will see there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, anime and like cartoony type of stuff, cosplay, TV show. I think My Little Pony kind of showed up at one point. Uh, and just like random conversations that just happen, in a group. And sometimes they're like, "What is this?" and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like we were a bunch of like random people just bunched into one group.
And sometimes in that group, it was
What?
different conversations, I would say.
Yeah.
Because, some of the topics, and we kind of learned about people's real true personalities.
Yes. Oh gosh, yes. Yeah.
And sometimes it just meshed, and it's just.
Yeah, like the funny part is that, okay, so it became weird because there would be extra people in the group that you don't even know.
Yes.
And then they would just have their own little bubble, but we're just under the same tree. we're literally under the same tree. Yes, we were under a big tree. It was a pretty big tree. We were under that shade. And yeah, LG would pop by, and sometimes he's just walking around with his other homies or something, and then he just kind of like stops by the group here and there. But yeah, like I used to be like that. Or I actually, since you left South Pass, I would just hang out in the library and just kind of like be there. And then if there was someone I knew, oh my gosh, I swear, when you left, things just kind of like changed. It was so weird. Oh my gosh, ciao. Okay. So I think it just became really awkward. And then it just started. Okay, so once you left, I feel like people just started to kind of go to different locations. Like they like one of them decided to hang out in this spot instead of the usual spot. And it became like a whole train or a domino effect that everyone's just kind of like going off different places.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Well, okay. Well, this is new to me.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I kind of realized that you kind of glued the group together. Ironically,
I did.
I don't know. I don't know. But I feel like you did, low key, because things literally changed once you left. Like, literally, I felt like people just decided to just like break up.
I remember you kept telling me that, but I was so confused. I was like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" Like, wait, because I didn't think I was the group at all. Because like,
I don't know. Ironically,
I guess I was. Because I mean, for me, like, okay, everybody that we grew up with, we all met in middle school. Well, for me, I met you at middle school
yeah,
back in
yeah,
'07.
that's true.
So I mean,
Wow,
flew-
gosh.
I left South Pass 2013.
Mm-hmm.
So I only went to summer high school here in Fontana for a year. So I was literally just trying to stay in contact with everybody because you guys are literally like my family to me because you guys
Yeah,
are the ones that I grew up with. And like I said before, I have grew up fast in South Pass because there was not a lot of black people at that time.
yes,
So in our group, I think I was the only black in the group. I think.
yeah. Wait a minute.
So
No, hold on.
I was.
Darius,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
don't
Okay,
forget
two.
him.
My bad. I forgot. My bad.
I had to
Two.
mention his name.
Yeah, only two of us. So I think what it was is like maybe I did after I left. Everybody started disappearing and stuff because I didn't know. I didn't know anything. You know what I'm saying? So really, what it was, I think people just did not know how to have real conversations with you, like how I do. You know what I'm saying? So I think they only have conversations with each other, but at the same
Yeah, and I
time,
was
it
just like,
wasn't real and genuine because nobody wants to keep talking about anime all day. But let's talk about something else. You know what I'm saying? Like,
then again, I'm such a random person. Like once you get to know me and stuff like that, I literally could talk about anything. But of course, like if we stick to a topic that I'm not very familiar with,
right.
it becomes awkward for me. So then I think that's where I kind of decided to leave personally, the group because I couldn't really relate too much to them. And I don't know if anyone out there has ever experienced something like that where you just feel like you're no longer feeling that same vibe.
Well,
Like
the
where you
vibe,
feel like I don't know if I can relate to them anymore. Basically, I don't know. I don't know.
the vibe really truly was like, well, when I was there, the vibe was, I was trying to make it positive as possible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it was and then it wasn't because it was too many different conversations and a lot of times with
Yeah.
some of our group members that we used to kick with clash too much
Oh yeah, I think there was a
because
bit of drama, but I don't know the full story, so don't quote me on that.
right, well, I know it, but I know you don't.
Hey, you're about
But
to tell me later on.
I will.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like maybe sometimes in that group, in that moment, I think maybe we were all trying to see
Yeah.
like our actual real true personalities besides talking about Avatar and everything else. You know what I'm saying? Because to be honest with you, you and I became the closest ones because I
Always.
remember
Yeah.
a few times. Now I can remember this. I remember a few times you wanted to talk to me about some stuff.
Yeah.
More. It came to me more than the other people.
I think I felt closer to you because I knew I could just approach you with certain topics that I'm not comfortable sharing with other people, for sure.
Right.
That's why you were kind of my go-to, and that's probably why once you did leave, I kind of just decided, okay, well, I don't really have that go-to person anymore. So I decided to
Oh,
kind of just go off on my own, but not necessarily on my own because I did know a couple people because I'd say I was pretty friendly. Like I try to get along with other people, but I wasn't close to them as much as I was close to you. So then I wouldn't, disclose anything at the time. I was actually pretty quiet, I think, once you left. I was pretty
really?
quiet. Like I had to kind of hold back on certain things, and then I only just went to you for that. Like I would text you or call you about it because we
Yeah.
still maintain communication.
Right.
So yes.
I could relate to that
Mhm.
because once I left, I literally thought the world was about to end.
No way.
Because when I first started the new school, I was like, oh my gosh, this is not South Pass anymore. This is
Mhm.
not South Pass High School anymore.
Yeah, it
And
just
it
changed.
was very challenging because, like how you just said, I wanted to have that same conversation like how you and I did. I couldn't do that. I couldn't fit in with nobody at the new school at Summit High School in Fontana, here in
Mhm.
Fontana. I couldn't fit in. Not really. I really did not fit in. I mean, still
Yeah,
to this
especially if
day,
you went to a
it's
totally different city or a town and then you didn't grow up there and then you don't know the people like that. And then their
right,
upbringing is totally different from
right.
yours. So that's where it became challenging. And even if I was still in South Pass for quite some time, I just felt like I couldn't really relate to every single person. Like, even if I'm very close to them at some point, like I started talking to them more and more, I didn't develop that close friendship. Like I
You
could be
know why?
close to them in an acquaintance way, but I won't confide in them and like certain things. You know what I mean?
Do you know
So
why? Do you know why you felt like you couldn't
I
confide
just,
into like you could to me?
well, I just feel like, I don't know, you were just more approachable and you were just more trustworthy to me because I think it was a whole trust thing. Like I couldn't possibly just talk to someone that I don't know as well as I do with you. And I know the whole thing with fake friends and people who would say things like backstab, and they say they would keep a secret, but then you know damn well that ain't gonna happen. So
Right.
that's why I think since you left, literally, it was hard for me to just kind of go to someone as close to like how I would go to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just couldn't find that person exactly. And no offense, I mean, like some people, like they seem like genuine people, but it's just the whole thing. Like, who do I decide to go to at the end of the day?
Yes.
I only have like one person. It was honestly Algernon, like at the time, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I mean, like I didn't even go to family for my topics usually. Like, I would just go to you for that.
Because I think because we relate a lot about a lot of things, and
Yeah,
I think this is what a lot of people don't understand. For those who don't understand South Pasadena at all, okay,
yeah, yeah,
it's a money area, a very expensive money area.
yeah,
So a lot of the people, I think I see what you're talking about. This is how I see it. A lot of the people, you know, are basically rich. Okay,
yeah.
so
Majority of them
some
are.
of them feel like, oh well, I could stay or I could do whatever I want to do because my parents are rich.
Yeah, and I couldn't
Okay,
relate to them in that sense because the thing was, I never really fit into that type of class anyway. Like, I wasn't an upper class type of person. I was kind of like in the middle. So I wouldn't say that I related to a lot of people because of that.
but it's their attitude though. It's like what I'm trying to say. Because
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
some of the people did kind of have like a little stuck up attitude kind of way. And it's just like, at the end of the day, let's just be real completely honest. All of our parents work super duper hard to be in that type of town.
yeah.
You
And then
know,
the reputation of school at the time was really good. So then my parents would literally sacrifice a lot just for me to even get to a school like that because they heard that it was a good school. Like the district
and it
itself
is.
was good. So then they put me in that despite, yeah. So I mean, yeah, it was a little bit hard to kind of just get closer to other people. And so like Algernon was always my go-to. And yeah, I think ever since that, and then we moved on to college, and everyone's just kind of on their own. People go out of state and everything, and everyone's just kind of, separating into their own little ventures.
I think it's really because like sometimes you have to like really truly have to find yourself.
Yeah.
I know for me when I left South Pass, like things changed for me,
Hmm.
and I didn't like it. I did not want to move at all.
Oh my
When I left
gosh.
South Pasadena stuff because that's
Exactly.
all I know. South Pass, Pasadena, Pasadena, Temple City, Arcadia, all those areas is all I know.
Yeah, I got so used to being in that town that I felt like it was home, but at the same time, it's like I didn't really have much family around either, so it didn't feel exactly like 100% like home, but I did feel more at home because everything was kinda just close, and, like, I ended up having a couple, family friends here and there, but, of course, like, no other town is like South Pass, so you know what I mean? It
Right.
just has that home feeling.
It does.
It does,
And can't
yeah.
nobody ever take that away from us. Like cause we lived there for a long time. I
Mhm.
lived there for 16 years.
Yeah, you lived
So
there for a
all
way
that,
longer time
all
than me.
those years, can't nobody take that away.
Mm-mm.
Can't nobody ever bring up stuff that you and I went through,
Yeah.
or anybody else in South Pass, whoever's watching this.
Mhm.
We all went through a lot. You know what I'm saying? And it's not easy. You have to deal with so many different kind of people. And
Oh,
you
yeah.
have still people that are, the stuck up ones that think they're better than people because they have money and stuff like that. And let's just be real honest. All of our parents, our whole entire city is a successful city. Okay? So, which means, yeah, you may be richer than me or whatever, but don't get it twisted now.
Mhm.
We're doing perfectly fine too now. Don't try to act like you're better than anybody.
Like, I'd say financially we're in a good place. I wouldn't say we're up there, but the point is we know how to handle money and all that stuff, so it's like, you know what I mean? Like, we were able to do pretty well in a town like that, even if it was pretty expensive, but nowadays it's even more expensive. So,
Sure.
like, since I moved out here in Florida, I just compare, like, the prices back, you know, in South Pass, and I realized, damn, wouldn't be able to afford it personally right now. I don't think so.
It's really truly it got so expensive
It
now. I'm just
did,
like,
yeah.
come on, what happened?
I know. It used to be a decent expensive, but now it's like crazy expensive.
It's like Beverly Hills expensive.
Like it's starting to get up there, and I wouldn't say it's exactly Beverly Hills, but they're trying to be Beverly Hills at this point.
It's getting close though, because I was looking at some of the prices for the houses, child, and I was like,
And even no, not even just the houses. It's like the apartments are starting to get really high up with the rent too.
yeah,
I'm like, oh gosh, I can't imagine. I'd have to have like a couple
40,000
roommates
something.
just to be in a decent apartment in South Pass. But then again, you kind of pay for like the convenience, like the city, and just being in California in general. Just yeah.
Yeah, it's 3,000
Um,
something.
yeah, it's 3,000. So like, I can't imagine like living on my own exactly.
Right.
In South Pass. But then again, I wouldn't want to take away, the good parts of South Pass as well, which I have mentioned earlier in this video.
Right.
Yeah. But anyways, that was just like a couple, memories we wanted to kind of go over. I think it was not the cleanest video. It's literally like I was kind of all over the place trying to process and remember everything about South Pass because it's been so damn long that my head is just jumbled with all these thoughts. And so sorry if I ended up kind of like going off different tangents or trying to think and it just, I don't know. Things happen.
But you're doing perfectly fine though.
I try. With Algernon, he had a whole like story going on. Mine was just kind of like all over the place. Like I didn't have a straight up story to just tell on like him. Just because mine was kind of all over the place, and I was just mostly talking about the fact that everything kind of changed when he left. Moral of the story.
All that what you said, how I left some passing everything.
Yeah, it was
That's
crazy.
all new to me because I never knew.
Yeah, like I noticed that the group started to really break up right when you left. I don't know what it was, but then again, it had to do with.
What was the time span? Was it a week? Was it the day after?
No, okay, it was slowly starting to break up. So like once you left, that's where it straight up broke up. It was like slowly getting there. Like once, like I think people found out that you were leaving, it's like automatically people just started to kind of go off in different directions.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What?
Oh yeah.
Because in my mind, I thought everybody, was still together. That's what I
No,
was.
and it's so weird because I think, yeah, because we have another friend, by the way, that was in our group, and she left too. And then once he left, that's when everything just kind of changed. Like everything. Like we're not hanging out in the same spot underneath the same tree. I don't know. Things just changed.
No.
Mm-mm. I ended up my hangout spot ended up being in the library. It was so random, but
Really?
that's where I ended up. So
Wow.
yeah. That's what happened there. And yeah, guys, that's just something to think about that things can change when one person in the group leaves. Things can change. And Algernon is an example of that. That someone who got along with pretty much everyone in the group or tried to like get the best out of everyone. Once that leaves, you know what I mean? Things just change. And I don't know if anyone else can relate to that, but that's what happens. I mean, sometimes there's that one person that can hold a group together because they're just that kind of person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the tea.
I found a whole bunch of new stuff today.
I know. I know. But yes, guys, so this was part 2. Wasn't the most eventful thing, but I wanted to quickly kind of go over a couple things that I remember in South Pass. And forgive me if it was kind of a mess. My process of thinking sometimes isn't the best. But Algernon did a great job trying to like kind of direct me to what questions I'm supposed to answer and just like get the context straight. So yeah, so we appreciate you guys as always. Now, yes, Algie, do you have anything you want to add? Because I think it's going to be a little hard next week. Okay, do you want to mention what's going on next week?
Next week I gotta work mandatory overtime.
Oh yeah.
So we could try film.
At some point. Mm-hmm.
We could try.
Yeah.
We try to figure out more topics.
That's true. We're still trying to come up with, a couple topics and stuff.
So to people out there, if there's any topics you guys want me and we're gonna let you talk about, you can DM us on Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook. Let us know what you guys want us to talk about because that actually helps a little bit.
It helps us. Yes, it really does.
We want to talk about what you guys talk about. Let us know and we can figure something out and we can all start working on some special guests eventually. Yeah, it depends on who is really willing to kind of hop on to our talk show, even if it looks kind of ratchet because we're literally going off of like FaceTime right now. Just, but I think there's still room for at least a couple guests. You know what I mean? So we'll just have to have that whole process figured out. I'm thinking of doing a whole upgrade, like get a new Mac, everything, like try to get that together maybe in a month. Who knows? We'll just see how things play out, but we want to have a different setup at some point and a more professional setup. So that way, this setup right now is just going to be gone. We're going to switch things up and we want to make it a little bit more of a talk show vibe. And like have a good background, possibly. The lighting is decent. It's just the whole figuring out of the lighting always happens between the look, it just got dark on his end. Now, if he turns on his light, it probably will look a little bit better. See, that's the thing. Like there are little things that we always have to adjust. There we go. But this is how it is, though. At the end of the day, this is our show, and we want everybody in America, whoever is watching, to let you guys know that you're in a safe place. You're in a complete safe place with us. You can come to us. You can talk to us. Don't be shy. We are here for you. And I want to say this: keep living your life for you. Live your best life. Keep doing you.
Don't let anyone bring you down at all.
And you gotta let people keep talking about you. You cannot stop because someone's talking about you. Because at the end of the day, haters are always going to come, no matter where you go.
Yeah, wherever you go.
Wherever you go. Okay? So you just have to keep going in life. And besides, the more they talk more about you, the more it's showing that you have something going on for yourself. You're clearly doing something right, basically. So you have to keep going. There's going to be times where you're going to feel like your back is up against the wall. You're going to feel like, oh my gosh, I thought this person was my friend. Oh my gosh, I thought this person was my real family member. All these things. But at the end of the day, God is giving you a life that He wants you to live.
Period.
That's on period. So.
Period. But yes, we want to root you guys in everything you guys choose to do. And always make sure that you're doing it for your own happiness, because then again, we can't always rely on people to make us happy, because ultimately it is up to you. That happiness has to come from within. And just continue to do that and just have the positive vibes and positive energy. Bring that positive energy to others as well who might need it. You know what I mean? Because sometimes that's what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yes, I totally appreciate you guys for even staying tuned, even if you don't get to watch every single second of the video, because we happen to be pretty talkative sometimes. I can go up to almost 40 minutes, for instance. But yeah, we appreciate it very much. And any time that you guys, tune in and all that, we always appreciate it.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to keep you guys updated in terms of when we're going to upload a new video. Please feel free to send any topic ideas, anything that you want us to talk about that you feel like needs to be talked about. Feel free to DM, any of us. But for now, have a great day.
Yes, you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification and keep watching more for our videos, you guys. Hope you all have a great night.
All right. Bye.
Bye, everybody.